विश्वास तुझ में ही समाए, साचा रूप साचा रंग मन में दिखाए। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। We studied the significance of the mantra Om. The mantra Om is a symbol of Brahman, just like all other symbols. Different teachers, different religions use different types of symbols. Why do you need to use a symbol?
Because we can only go from the known to the unknown.
Okay. Anyone else? Why do we need to use a symbol?
Because how else will you make the distinction between the sound and silence without a symbol?
Okay, a symbol doesn't necessarily mean it's sound, right? It could mean any symbol.
Because we don't know Brahman. If you want to give him some, like, it has to be from the world.
That's correct. Brahman is beyond the intellect. You cannot, suppose you want to earn a lot of money. You don't need a symbol. You can say, I want to earn a lot of money, or I want to earn 5 billion, or whatever it is you have in mind. So these are known things. But Brahman is beyond the realm of the intellect. So how are you going to deal with it? You cannot conceive it in any way. It is not possible to conceive it in any way, or feel it, or touch it, or anything. So how are you going to do anything? So because Brahman or God is beyond the realm of the human intellect, you have to speak to it, or refer to it, or think of it with some symbol, because the actual thing is incomprehensible. It's not known, and it's not going to be known also. So therefore you need some kind of symbol. Now, since you need some kind of symbol, over the years all the masters and sadhaks and everybody have given some symbol, and these symbols can be classified according to the number of senses that contact it. So that gives us 5 elements, because earth contacted by all the 5 senses. What is this? Water by 5 fire by 3, air by 2, and space through sound. So 5 types of symbol. Now, since space can only be contacted through one sense organ, and that is also representative by sound, therefore, just one is the subtlest. Of all these sounds that are prevalent, Om is supposed to be the subtlest. Now, why is it subtlest? It is subtlest because of 2 broad parameters. Sounds can be of 2 types, intonational and articulate. Articulate requires education. Intonational is something any living creature can understand because it's just a sound that you get. If somebody is laughing, you understand that he's happy. Or if he's laughing sarcastically, that also you understand that he's laughing sarcastically. You don't have to be taught these things. You get them. So, intonational effect of Om is supposed to be very, very high. It's soothing, it's calming to the human mind, to any mind, even to animals. It's got a deep, soothing sacredness to that sound. Then on the articulate level also it works. It works because it seems to cover the entire sound phenomenon from which is a guttural sound, lowest that we can do, to where your lips shut. So that's the entire sound phenomenon. So just as Om pervades the entire sound phenomenon, so too Brahman pervades the entire world. Then the second one you can think of, there are many. For articulate, of course, there can be any amount. So the second one which we did was Uma. Uma represent the 3 states of consciousness, and Om is what pervades the 3 states of consciousness and also exists beyond it. Means Brahman pervades the 3 states of consciousness. Then the third reason we did was, why am I doing this, Samiti? What was the third reason?
It's not to a particular religion.
It's a natural sound. So it is not associated with any sort of grammar rules or anything. It's just a natural sound. And most religious people seem to have taken to the sound in some form or the other. Okay, so these were the reasons we had discussed. Correct, right? Yeah, these were the reasons we had discussed. Then what happened? Then we discussed the difference between. We did matra and amatra, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So we discussed what is the matra and what is the amatra. The mantra is the ucharan, is the sound, not necessarily zikr, even in your mind. So there is the mantra that's going on. There's a silence between 2 renditions of the mantra, and that is called amatra, silence. So as you go into meditation, the mantra starts becoming softer and softer, and the silence starts becoming more and more. The distance between the mantras increases, the sound of the mantra decreases, and the amatra, the silence in between, keeps on increasing. Till eventually there is only silence and no chanting of the mantra is on. This prolonged silence is what is eventually self-realization. Now, in this stage, there is no chant of the mantra going on, right? So there's no flow of thought. So the mind is gone. Since there is no pair of opposites, sound and silence, the intellect is also gone. So when the mind is gone, intellect is gone, this is the state of self-realization. It's just pure silence. This is the final thing that happens at that stage. Okay, but don't worry, struggling to understand it because we are going to do it. We're doing the whole procedure of meditation. So, how do you meditate? How, I mean, it's irrelevant to us at the moment, but we have to know because hopefully we're going to reach there someday. So, we have to know. Right. Deepraj, you have a question?
I mean, it might be a repetition, but I still want to understand how the body keeps on going. The answer was Pradabdha Vasanas, but that doesn't really answer that the mind and intellect have gone, it's gone. And the body needs the mind and intellect to operate because of the chronology of action. So, what is that keeps the body going?
No, that way mind and intellect, if the body is there, mind and intellect are also there. If the mind and intellect are not there, that means you're dead.
That means the body is, that means it's dead. The body is not moving.
Yeah.
So the mind and
So
intellect
mind and
has,
intellect, then you're dead, right?
yes,
So
but
mind and intellect is there. It's not that it's not there. It's there in exactly the way the body is there. And that's the explanation of Prarabdha Vasanas. But don't go there now because we have
okay,
a chapter on this next chapter.
okay.
You turn the page, how many pages more? Hardly a couple of pages, and then the big trouble is going to start because all of this is at least comprehensible. Next chapter is totally incomprehensible. So
Okay.
we will worry about those troubles when we get to them. Now
Thank you.
it's simple. Procedural details. How do you meditate? This is the easiest part. This is so easy, in fact, that the whole world, in the name of spirituality, does this. Because it is so easy. You're about to read it. It's not going to take us very long. Though I shouldn't make such predictions because one never knows in this class. So if all goes, just as per the book, there is really nothing very much. It's just very easy stuff. Procedure. How do you go about meditating? So yeah, let's do it. Who will read?
I can read.
Go ahead.
Procedural details. The process of meditation starts with the withdrawal of the mind from its preoccupation with the affairs of the world. The meditator must then ensure that all external factors are conducive for the plunge into the inner self. Before starting the practice of meditation, one must try and eliminate all that could possibly disturb the mind. The disturbances spring from the environment, physical body, from breathing, mind, intellect, and even the time chosen for the practice. These impediments must be eliminated to create the best atmosphere for meditation. So this paragraph describes what we should do before we start meditating. First, we should focus our mind inwards from the external world. We have to turn introvert. That's the first step. Next, we have to prepare the seat of meditation. And how do we do that? We make it so that there is no disturbance from the environment. What do the disturbance from the environment entail? They entail the environment as well as the physical body, breathing, mind, and intellect, and even the time chosen for the practice. That's it.
Okay, good. So except that environment is not body, mind, and intellect, it is environment and body, mind, and intellect.
Yes.
And all the others. All of these are various impediments. We'll study them. It's not making sense to you right now because you just, summarize the topic really and we can do it. So first and most important thing about meditation is
preoccupation. Mind is preoccupied with external affairs of the world. So you have to withdraw it from it.
very good. So before you come to the seat of meditation, the mind has to be in a state of renunciation, introversion, reduction of desires, whatever terminology you're comfortable with. The first, that is its first criteria. If you're not ready, if the pre-meditative practices have not been done, you will not only not benefit from meditation, it can actually harm you. Now, we have been saying this for years and years and years and years. Nobody in the world believes it. They say, no, but everybody is saying meditation is very good. Fortunately, now, so many years of meditation have gone by, and now people are beginning to realize. So now, if you look at the studies, there are studies that are showing, first, all the studies were showing how good it is for you. Mad guys. Now the studies are showing the detrimental effects because now people have been doing it for some time. And the studies also have been going on for some time. So you can look them up. You don't have to believe me, look them up. And studies are showing how, especially for mental patients, they give meditation. Can you believe it? I mean, you must so not understand this whole process of the mind to do that. So, well, nowadays there is research going on, and people are finding out the negative effects and how many people have not only not been benefited but also detrimental. Please do look up those studies so that you will believe what nobody believes. See, how old is this book? Let us see. How many book years? It was first written in 1978. Right? And why is this thing there? Because in 1978, also these troubles of meditation had started. Troubles means people had started meditating. Now it's 2024. And if you notice, there's hardly any progress. People are still doing meditation. Except now, here and there, you see these studies giving us negative results of meditation. The first and most important thing is the mental preparation. The human being has to be ready for this. Only then will any result come out. So that is first. Now let us assume that this individual is ready for meditation. Now what is the procedure he follows? But please notice in this book, as in everywhere in the Gita, meditation will not be mentioned without pre-meditative practices. It will not. Here also it starts. Starts with the withdrawal of the mind from its preoccupations with the affairs of the world. If you are finding the world very important, please do not sit in meditation. Right. Now, suppose you're ready for meditation. Now what do? You have to first and foremost, before getting into the seat of meditation, before starting meditation, make sure that everything in the environment is conducive. Okay, so environment will have what all? It has a space, it has a time. Then the body can be a great disturbance in meditation, which is why throughout the journey you have been doing yoga, so that you will not have this issues when you are in the seat of meditation. You have to be doing yoga. Imagine if you didn't do yoga, you can't even sit properly. How will you meditate? You'll be meditating and then you will fall off because you don't know how to sit straight. And on the verge of meditation, of realization, you will lose it because you are just toppled from your seat. So be doing your yoga consistently. All right. Now, what is the next source of trouble that we can have? Breathing. You say, how can breathing be a source of trouble? I don't have asthma or something like that. Oh gosh, you sit down in the seat of meditation and you will see suddenly your breath will be all encompassing. You notice breath. Breath can become a big disturbance in the seat of meditation. Then what can happen? Your mind can disturb you, intellect can disturb you. All these disturbances you will first have to quell. And then meditation can happen. So first you have what? First you've done general preparation. You are the person who is ready for meditation. Then you come to the seat of meditation and even there ensure that there will be no disturbance. Now what all disturbances we are about to study. So who will do?
Janki ji, 1 minute. Janki ji, it is mentioned the disturbances could arise from intellect also, right? So can you explain this?
He will do it himself, but I mean, the whole thing is going to explain the various. Wait, let me see. Is intellect explained or not? What is the intellect's role? Intellect's role is discrimination. Now, the intellect will always be doing some kind of discrimination. At the last stage, that discrimination has to stop. Okay, you can be thinking that, oh, I should have, intellect may say, there is a war going on and it's time now for you to go and attend to the war and anything. The intellect will do some discrimination. It should not be doing a wrong discrimination in the seat of meditation. So disturbances can come from anywhere.
Okay.
Or you can also go to sleep in meditation. Discrimination is on also. Or unnecessary discrimination is on. Okay. Who will read the paragraph?
I will read. The first impediment is the external disturbance arising from the environment. Hence, you must choose a quiet, peaceful place for practicing meditation. It is difficult to find a peaceful place. You may choose a peaceful time of the day. The early hours of morning, the sattvic time, is distinctly silent and peaceful, even in an otherwise noisy environment. So here is saying, impediment. What is that? Impediment.
Impediment. Yeah.
Impediment. So
something that impedes. Something
that impediment from environment. So he's saying select a time early in the morning so that you will not be disturbed. Mostly people are sleeping. Nobody will be awake in that time. So you can carry on with your meditation.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So now first impediment, first disturbance, first trouble that we face is if you're meditating and somebody is chilling, "Arey, pressure cooker band karo, arey, wo dekho Ramu aa gaya, somebody is darwaza kholo." If all this is going on while you're meditating, how will you meditate? So you need a quiet environment. You can't even have a quiet environment because in the house people are shouting. The children are going running from here to there and screaming, "Ye mujhe maar raha hai, maine use nahi mara," whatever is going on in the house. But if you get up in the morning at 4 o'clock, everybody, children, staff, spouses, assorted relations, everybody is unavailable. Even from outside, even people who are making a noise outside, they are also shant at that time. So first thing you do is find yourself a quiet place, which can also be a quiet time in that place. Deep brush, the only condition in which one can do something before morning studies in Brahma Muhurta. The only condition in which one can do something before morning studies in Brahma Muhurta. I think you can make that statement more correct by saying the only condition in which you can routinely avoid morning studies.
Routinely avoid morning studies.
Or substitute morning studies.
Okay, because I thought it will not be a substitution, it will be like an addition. Like before we were doing morning studies first thing in the morning. Now we do meditation and then morning studies.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're not in a hurry for that, but if you have reached the state of meditation, you need not do your morning studies. You can just meditate.
Okay, that is also a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on how much you're capable of. In the beginning, your meditation will be 5 minutes. It will grow maybe to 10 minutes. But if you're doing like half an hour, 45 minutes, then you're going to be exhausted. You're not going to be able to study after that.
Correct, yes.
Most people think of meditation as a relaxation thing. It's not relaxation, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort.
Yeah. Okay. So after that, we won't have the intellect available to do morning studies. I mean,
You don't
the
have the capacity
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, capacity. Yeah.
Yourself, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, depending on how long you're doing, if you're doing it for half an hour, 45 minutes, or things like that.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, Mamita?
When did you start, Janki-ji, meditation?
How does that matter, one way or the other?
I mean, just to know, because you were studying for 3 years at the academy. So
No,
during that time,
no, you're not
Okay.
supposed to start. 3 years is a very short time on this path. I mean, yes, after bhajans for 2 minutes, we do sit in silence, but that is more just a taste of something. It's not really meditation. It's just sit in silence for a short while. For 2 minutes, because 2 minutes is about all most people can handle. And and most people, I don't know why people are so enthusiastic about doing meditation when we have so many other useful things to be done. So better to avoid it. Though, the problem is that everybody believes, and it is also true, that meditation is the only pathway to realization. This is a true statement. That's where all this is coming from, probably. Just like saying passing the MBBS exam is the only way to become a doctor. But that doesn't mean today you go and sit for the MBBS exam. There's 5 years of work before that. So, avoidable, always avoidable. Until the mind has stabilized completely. It's very avoidable.
but it's hard to not be curious about.
Yeah, so before you have your 2 minutes, you can do that.
But still, I mean, a personal account of.
Now you see how the mind functions even in the spiritual path. No, but I would like to try. Don't take it easy. Better to delay meditation than to prepone it. That is safer. Only problem is, and only issue with that is that meditation is a lot like pile driving. You know what's pile driving? They stand on that road and then they have that, I don't know what, a pile driver, I suppose it is called. And then they, like now in Mumbai, you can see it everywhere. They've got that thing and they dig the ground. So they don't dig, they have a machine which is like which makes the hole in the ground. So basically you push your machine down and then all the rocks will, sort of be displaced or the cut or whatever it is. Now, then somebody has to go and remove all those rocks and again do the pile driving again, So what is cutting through the road or the earth really is the pile driving, right? But it can't do that if the rocks are there. So you pile drive a bit, then you go remove all the rocks, then you go pile drive again. You push that machine down so it breaks those rocks, and then again you have to remove those rocks. So the spiritual path is something like that. Pile driving is meditation or the single thought on Brahman. And then removing the rocks and all that is all your yogas. So that pile driver in us that is determined on breaking through the rocks to reach the self. That is very important, and that can be considered to be something like open eye meditation, which is something that we should do. Or not should do, because that's a bad way of putting it. Would be nice to do. But if you just sit quietly and meditate, then nothing is going to happen because your rocks are still there. The pile driver is not being able to go in.
So how would you define open eye meditation?
Your focus is always on the self.
So as I'm performing an action, I have the
Yes.
thought of the self.
Yes, you have various things happening. Number one, you understand that the only reason this action is being performed is because of the self. The self is the unliving principle. Without the self, this won't happen. Like without electricity, the fan won't work and the light won't work. So first is your recognition that because of God or because of the self, whatever is happening is happening. Second is, whatever is happening is meant to reach the self. So why did I choose this action? Because I want to reach the self, and I think that this action will help me reach the self. So everything is happening because of the self, and this particular action has been chosen because it's taking me to the self. I have made that choice on the grounds that it will take me to the self. So when that is going on constantly in the mind, then that's open eye meditation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Janki
Hmm.
this classical singer when sings, his one thread of mind is on Shruti. That is open eye meditation, right? No?
That is one part of it. And the second part is you have undertaken the action to reach the self.
Yeah.
Okay, so first impediment that comes is the disturbance from the environment, which you can also take care of because you can't keep on running from place to place, right? Okay, I'm hunting for a quiet environment. In any environment, 4 to 6 in the morning, you will find it calm, quiet. First disturbance. Now let's go to the next. We will take too long. Come on, somebody volunteer. Aparna?
Yes, Jankaji. The next preparatory step in meditation is to attend to the disturbance caused by the physical body. To avoid any such disturbance, you need to sit cross-legged in the appropriate physical posture. Use a thin, flat cushion, not too soft or too hard. The recommended posture is to sit on your hands with legs folded to form a maximum base. Keep your vertebral column erect with a slight forward bend at the pelvic region. Your arms resting in front with fingers interlaced. In this posture, the physical body remains in maximum equilibrium, with its center of gravity falling at the center of the base. You may take time to get accustomed to the posture. If, however, you are unable to adjust your body to the posture due to some physical defect or other reason, you may sit on a chair or other comfortable position that suits you. Keep your eyes gently closed, looking nowhere in particular, as in sleep. Having positioned in the meditative posture, your limbs may still be stiff, your muscles tense, That again could disturb your mental concentration, as they may relax on their own during meditation. To avoid this, you should release the tension in the muscles by mentally inspecting the parts of the body from head to foot. That would relieve all stiffness and relax the body. So now, since we're talking about the next step, that's the actual posture when one would like to meditate, when you've attended to all the disturbances that has caused by the physical body. When you're ready, then this is the posture that is recommended, that you first need to sit cross-legged in an appropriate physical posture. You can use a thin cushion, which is not too soft or hard. And you fold your legs, and cross-legged you've got to sit with a slight bend forward at the pelvic region. And your arms should be loosely interlaced, your fingers. So this is recommended as the perfect position for maximum equilibrium. But it may not be easy at the beginning to get the position absolutely right. So if you're not able to do that, they've said that you can also adjust it accordingly if there is some defect, or for other reasons, if you may not be able to sit on the floor, you can sit on a chair and a comfortable position that suits you. And you have to keep your eyes gently closed and not looking anywhere in particular. And this is, having had this posture, you may still feel with your muscles a little tense and your limbs a bit stiff. But and that also could disturb your mental concentration. So you need to relax, and maybe after a little time, this would help in releasing the tension in the muscles. And then you just need to be aware of your position from head to foot, and that would help you to relieve all the stiffness and help in relaxing the body.
Good, Aparna, but shorter. Otherwise, we're saying the whole paragraph again. So what have you to do?
Okay, just summarize it.
Yeah, on the first thing, you have to sit properly. What is sitting properly? Sitting properly means you are sitting in such a way that the natural incline of your spine has this incline, right? It's like that. The curvature of the spine must be maintained, which of course I'm sure you have studied in your yoga class. The way you sit, and you can sit for many hours, is you tilt the pelvis slightly forward. And so then, you're sort of balanced in the pelvis, and it is not your muscles that are keeping you straight. Now, when we sit on a chair, the back of the chair is keeping us straight. So that's why nobody wants to sit on the ground or on a chair without a backrest, because they find they can't hold it straight. But what happens is, if you learn how to sit the right way, then you just tilt the pelvis slightly forward, 2 centimeters forward, then you are so settled in that position that no muscle is holding you up. I'm sure you've studied all this, in whoever has done yoga, you'll have learned it there. You're seated in such a way that you could sit there for hours, because your muscles are not involved in that sitting. Not involved means your muscles are not holding you up. And that's a very, very important aspect of meditation, because just think about it. If your muscles are holding you up, or if your muscles are tense, or if your muscles are stiff, what will happen in the seat of meditation? Just think about it. What will happen?
The pain will start.
Yeah, and you'll be concentrating on that because you're not able to actually relax your mind.
Yeah, let us say that you are able to get past that. You were tense, you were holding, but you are meditating. Full concentration is on the meditation. You're not noticing the state your body is. Now what will happen? Try it. No, put your shoulders up. All right. And now just pay attention to whatever's happening in class. Eventually, what will happen? It will drop, no? Now imagine that you're in the seat of meditation and you're tight like this. you're concentrating on meditation and suddenly you are like, oh, you sort of forgotten everything. You're only focusing on one thing. What will happen? Nothing happened. What happened? Disturb you. So therefore, before you start meditating, release all the tension. Sit properly and release all the tension, so that there's no sudden movement of the body while you are meditating. And it will be disturbance. Now, some people will say, but I cannot. Suppose there's somebody who cannot sit on the floor. Now, can he not meditate? Of course, he can meditate, then he can sit on a chair. But make sure that your body will not. The point over here is the body should not be disturbing. So you're sitting on a cushion. In the Gita, it says you should sit on a skin with kusa grass, or most of this is, by the way, from chapter 6 of the Gita. So over there it will say take kusa grass and then put a hide on it, skin of some dead animal, and then sit on it. And your asana should not be too high or too low. If you're too low, what will happen? You're meditating, one snake will come crawling. Okay, so you don't want to be too low. You don't want to be too high also, because you're meditating and you topple from your seat, then that will break a bone or something. So you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. You want to be comfortably seated because you don't want your body to disturb. So you don't need the kusha grass and you don't need the height. Otherwise, now people go running around, okay, now I can't meditate, I can't find kusha grass anywhere. You don't need kusha grass, you just have a cushion. That is more than enough. Because they didn't have cushions then, they used grass, obviously. Now we have cushions, we can use them. So be comfortable is the point. Your body should be so comfortable. Doesn't mean you're lying down in a recliner. That's not what it means. Because you're lying in a recliner, your body will not be comfortable after a period of time. You will have to shift. So sit in the right posture, relax all the muscles, and then start. Right. Then what happens? Come on, who will read the next para? Nagendra, will you read the next para?
Yes, ma'am. Needless to mention, the relaxation of the physical body will not be effective unless your body has been kept in perfect fitness prior to meditation. That would require regular physical exercises, asanas, practice of yogic postures, and pranayam breath control. It means maintaining other disturbances. At the same time, we also have to be physically fit for meditation along with the mindfulness.
Well, we're going step by step. Here it is physical fitness.
Okay.
So if you can't, thank you. So now it's not that you reach this state and then you start doing yoga. You have been doing yoga all along. You have been told to do yoga all along. Now you'll begin to see how important it was to have done it. Because you're flexible, your muscles are strong, you're able to sit. There's no disturbance being provided by your body. So you've done your exercises and you have been fit. Then we come to the next disturbance, which is very, very strange disturbance, because today it doesn't disturb us at all. Today, have you ever been disturbed by your own breath? No, because why are we not disturbed by our breath today?
But it is normal.
It
Yeah.
is normal in the seat of meditation also.
Because we are
Our
not
mind is too loud.
What?
Our mind is too loud.
Our mind is full of what?
Full of thoughts,
So,
and our focus is on those thoughts. So we don't have even time to notice our breath.
that's correct. Yes, Prashant, that's correct. What is happening is the mind itself is so noisy. Where are you going to be disturbed by breath? But in the seat of meditation, the mind is so calm. Even the least bit of thing will sound very loud. Many people are of the view that, oh, if you're sitting in meditation, you will not even recognize all the other disturbances. That's not really true. You will actually recognize them a lot more. But you just have the power to sort of overcome them. But just think, if you're using that power to overcome them, then you're not using the power to
Focus on the mantra.
very. And you're not using the power to focus on the mantra. So you don't want all these disturbances. Not because they are going to mentally agitate you, but there is a disturbance here. Now, some people feel, how is it possible? How can you disturb a person in the seat of meditation? And I also thought that. So I'd also asked that question. And I not asked, I had that question. But I found this example that Swamiji gave very useful. He said that when you go to the bhajiwala, okay, and he is weighing something for you, and he puts in one potato, he takes out one potato. कोई फर्क होता ही नहीं उसमें, right? But when you go to the chemistry lab and you start weighing something, you actually have to put whatever you want and then close that cabinet. I don't know if you've noticed. You close the cabinet and then you take the measurement. Because even your breath can change that measurement, right? So the subtler the equipment is, the more it registers the difference. Like some people, if you're used to a very clean environment, you go anywhere, you'll see dirt. But if somebody is used to the slum, no matter where they go, they will not see any dirt. So even with the ego, it's like that. See, before we came to Vedanta, people are saying, I this, I this, I this, I that. And nobody, they also said, we didn't find any problem with it. But after you come to Vedanta, listening to all this I starts becoming jarring. I this, jarring to your life. You know, you're sort of emphasizing something which is incorrect. So things that did not disturb you earlier will disturb you later on. But the things which did disturb you earlier, they don't make any difference. And now you suddenly start noticing things that, well, you never noticed. So as the mind and intellect subtilizes, you sort of see different things, completely different things from what other people are seeing. So when you go to the state of meditation, even if your breath is a bit, like a little too much, a little too little, you're able to cognize all this. And why are you able to cognize? Because of the one word. Because of the one word, please.
Can you repeat the question?
Isn't always. In the seat of meditation, you are able to cognize the disturbance of breathing also because of the fill in the blank, one word.
Mind is calm.
By what?
Mind is very calm.
Yeah, but there are too many words. Your answer is correct, but because of the one word.
Awareness.
Okay.
Serenity.
Concentration.
Because of the
Focus. Concentration.
because of the
Purification.
well, not wrong. Just follow the line of you're able to cognize that as a disturbance because of the
Silence.
okay, you are not wrong, you are right. Let me tell you, you're able to cognize the difference because of the contrast. Only when there's a contrast you cognize difference, no? If everything is white, you won't notice anything. If on that white there's a black dot, you'll immediately notice it. So now your mind is so utterly quiet that you're cognizing things which you never saw before because of the contrast. You didn't notice these things before. You didn't think about your breath before. But now you do. You never notice people saying I for everything. Now you do. You never noticed foolish behavior, but now you do. You never noticed dirt before, but now you do. And all the things you were noticing earlier, those you don't notice anymore. So the perception changes as you grow. That's what it's talking about. You start seeing different things which you never saw before. So now you're at the seat of meditation. So a disturbance can be breath also, can be breath. So what are we going to do? We are going to try and avoid these disturbances. See, body could be, noise from the environment can be a disturbance. So we found a quiet place, a quiet time. Body can be a disturbance. So we have done our yoga previously. We have sat properly. We have relaxed ourselves. Now you know why you have studied, what is it called? Yoga Nidra and Shavasana. You have been already taught. See, it was a culture. It wasn't just one subject. It was a full culture. And it was a full process that was very much inherent in our society. Today, now we're taking bits and pieces and, sort of creating chaos. But this was all happening. So that by the time you came to the seat of meditation, everything has been taken care of already. You have done your yoga also. So you're fit, you're mentally fit, you're at the moment you're physically fit. You've been practicing releasing your muscles consciously through Shavasana and Yoga Nidra and all these sort of things. So now you know how to do this. So you've come to the seat of meditation, you're prepared. Now breath can disturb you. So you've already learned pranayama. So he's going to tell us also what exactly we are supposed to do. Most people today, I think, know this. Just go through it. All right. So next one is pranayama. Who will read about pranayama?
I'll read.
Go ahead.
Pranayam tunes up your breathing. Proper controlled breathing is conducive to mental equanimity. When your breathing is properly regulated, it is easier to keep the mind peaceful. Conversely, when your breathing is hard, especially after a long run, it would be difficult for the mind to remain calm and composed. Pranayam is a simple technique of breathing practiced as follows. With the little and ring fingers of your right palm extended and the two other folded, press the thumb against your right nostril and inhale slowly through your left. When you have inhaled fully, close the left nostril with the two smaller fingers. With both nostrils closed, hold your breath. After holding the breath for a while, keep the left nostril closed and exhale slowly through the right. After exhalation is complete, keep the air out with both nostrils open. These four steps form the first half of the pranayam: inhaling, holding the breath inside, exhaling and keeping the breath outside. So it teaches us how this breathing process, which is by taking the two fingers and keeping the right nostril closed, and then going on to the left side and then exhaling.
Very good. So this is only teaching us how to breathe correctly so that your breath is perfectly set before you start meditating. So how? You know the normal process, right? You breathe in through one nostril, you hold it, and then you close the nostril, and then you breathe out through the other side. The same thing. Anyone is not familiar with this? Normal pranayam, you take it in, breathe in, hold it, close the nostril, breathe out through the other nostril, and hold it out. And the other side is just the opposite thing. Take it in through one nostril, hold, take it out. hold, right? So just settling the breath down. Who will read the second portion?
I can read it.
Go ahead.
For the second half of pranayam, follow the same procedure in the reverse direction using your left palm. With the fingers of your left palm arranged in a similar manner, press the left thumb against your left nostril and inhale through your right. After inhaling fully, close your right nostril with the two smaller fingers. With both nostrils closed, hold your breath. After holding the breath for a while, keep the right nostril closed and exhale slowly through the left. After exhalation is complete, keep the air out with both nostrils open. With this, the second half is complete. Thus, one round of pranayam consists of 8 steps. Pranayam is merely an exercise for the lungs, with no spiritual connotation. It is false logic to claim that control of breath can control the mind. The gross cannot control the subtle. The truth is just the opposite. Control your mind, your prana, breath will be controlled. So this is the same steps as in part 1, except that this time you use your left palm and reverse the direction. And the whole of pranayam takes 8 steps, part 1 and part 2 together. And it is merely an exercise for the lungs. There is no spiritual connotation in it because the breath cannot control the mind since it is subtler.
But so you're settling your breath down even more. And you will sort of notice also that your breath has settled down after you have done your pranayam. And you're just trying to ensure that there is no disturbance from the environment, no disturbance from the physical body, no disturbance from the pranas before you get on, before you have actually started your meditation. That's all that we're trying to do. Now, just as an obiter dicta, something said by the way, he's bringing about the point that, which many people believe, that you control your breath, you control your mind. This is obviously incorrect because breath is grosser than the mind. So control your mind, your breath will be controlled, not control you. But yes, if there is a soothing thing, just soothing it a bit before you're starting. So what all have you done so far? You have a quiet place. You have sat in the right posture. Your muscles are all relaxed. In fact, you're not using your muscles to sit straight. You're using the very formation of the body to sit straight. And because you've tilted the pelvis slightly forward and you're on a soft cushion, you've done your pranayam, and now your mind is, as it is calm, pranayam is sort of soothing the wrinkles out, if any, and not allowing the breath to disturb. Now, what will be the next source of trouble for us?
The mind?
The mind, correct. So shall we read the next paragraph? Who will read it? Momita?
Now reverting to the seat of meditation with effective relaxation of the muscles and a little pranayam, your body and prana breath are set for meditation. The next source of disturbance is the mind itself. Some thoughts may linger and disturb your mind. Let your intellect examine the mind and keep it vacant of thoughts. If, however, they enter the mind, gently dismiss them. When the mind is relatively free of thoughts, start the japa, the chant of the chosen mantra word symbol. Your mind does the chanting. Your intellect observes, witnesses the chant, and maintains the focus on the mantra to the exclusion of all other thought. So once we are seated in the right posture, having done our pranayam, we ensure that the intellect is governing the mind and gently dismissing any thought other than that of the mantra, so that all our focus is on the mantra.
Start the japa. Once all this, your mind is your environment, body, pranayama is taken care of, some thoughts will linger in the mind, gently shift them away. Start the japa. The intellect has to be observing that japa. And no other thoughts have to be coming in. Okay, so we will continue next time. Hari Om.
Hari Om Janki.
Thank you.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.
Hari Om Janki ji.
Hari Om Janki ji. Thank
Hari
you.
Om Janki ji.
Hari Om Janki ji, thank you.